it's going to be comedy relief. That's the way I roll. Leandro, when you hear the stories, there's humor in stupidity. There is. Because when you coach for 35 years, and most of my coaching was at the college level. I only coached 3 years in high school. And I was very fortunate to land a college job in Texas. I retired from Texas and did college up north in the Panhandle. And but when you talk to men, and what I did, most of my kids were African American kids from different New York, all over, when you recruit. But my message was that I can teach you something, but it's bad English, but I'm going to learn you more. You'll learn more from me, as me being a college basketball player and being a coach. I would tell my guys, I can't teach you anything because first of all, when you're 18, 19 years old and you're full of ego, you can't teach a man nothing. Okay? So I said, bring it down a little bit, bring it down. Because I was hard-nosed coach. I was hard. I didn't mess. I don't have too many rules. 3 things: wine, dope, and bad attitude I don't deal with. Because I'm not a drug rehab guy. I'm not AA, and I'm not a psychologist. I'm a coach. But most of my coaching was teaching life skills. You know, if you're working on a shot, it's a life skill. That I took my coaching into life skills. I just did that even when I was in high school. I probably did more life skills than I did coaching, especially with young people. I took a different path. Because when you hear Leandro's story, I took a different path. He's from the South Valley, and I'm from the North. Those Norteños, it's a little different. We're all Hispanics, but it's a little different when you're up north and when you're down in the South. And I took a different path. I chose not to drink. I've never drank. I've never done drugs. I've never done anything like that. They gave me a hard time because I didn't know, they laugh at me because I didn't know the difference between a bar and a club. Do you guys know the difference? They laugh at me. So you don't know the difference between a bar and a club? And I said, well, explain it to me. Go ahead, Leandro. What's the difference?
You go dance in one place and the other place you just go drinking.
Right.
50 hours away.
To me, it was a bar. I said, you don't know the difference. Like, I didn't hang around. Now, we were number 7. I'm 71 years old. In 1971, we were the best team in the state of New Mexico. Out of 13 of us, 5 are alive. Okay? So I knew all my 11, they're dead. All the guys I grew up dead. Now I left my community and I went to play college basketball. It was probably the best thing I did. And so it's hard. It hurts when you see the guys that you grew up with chose a different path. And I was just fortunate to take this path. And so when I hear the stories in our men's group, when I hear their stories that, you know, they're drug alcoholics, all this like that, and I'm just, well, I knew that because a lot of guys I run around were doing that. Marcos, those guys they were shooting heroin when they were in high school. You know, they're dead now, but I'm alive. And by the grace of, you know, I grew up in the Catholic Church. When I went to college, I got out. I want to know how many men here are single? Okay, and we have one young man over here. How many of you guys are married? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to tell you something. My wife and I celebrate, coming up now in December, my wife and I have been married 51 years. She tells everybody that I was in the 4th grade and she was in 3rd grade when we got married. But going on 50 years living with the same woman. The one that I fell in love was my cheerleader girl when I was playing and stuff like that. Cute, bonita, green eyes, purple face. Her last name is Marquez Atencio. Okay, so Spanish. You know, her aunt, she has 4 redheads, aunts that are redhead and green eyes. And my boys have green eyes. Leandro has blue eyes. What are you, Leandro?
A Chicano.
Half Jew, half Chicano. Okay, so that's what we call it. So we're all mixed. But I really didn't fall in love with Jeannie. I just liked her. We were in high school together and we were in history class, and she was so cute. And I wasn't into girls. That was my baby. Basketball was my baby. But I just knew that she had something. I just knew she had something. And we weren't dating, and as a matter of fact, my high school coach did not allow us to date. Okay, we couldn't date when we were in high school. And because we didn't play football. I came to Texas, I know that football is God, and I knew that. And but I just knew that she had something. It was something. She didn't pressure me into dating or anything like that. All the other girls, you know, and I just didn't want to do that because I learned from my older brother. So we have married and single guys. So how real do you want to get?
Real.
Because I'm gonna get real. Now there's gonna be a lot of humor in there, but there's gonna be a lot of truth to it. Because I know after 50 years and making a lot of mistakes, I should have learned something. I did. You know, I didn't know if my mom and dad loved each other. They were really good. My dad was a simple man. My mom was a hard-working lady. They're both hard-working. But they got along all week. They were good all week long till and I grew up in the Catholic Church. My sister was a nun. My mom was a Catholic daughter. My dad worked at church. And everything that was at church, they were involved in church. But on Sunday morning, my mom would make the huevos and we said, am I the only one that your mom would get the Kleenex and wipe with la baba? Well, you just did, you ate two, Mom. And then you hear me, what are you doing that to me for? You know, the baba's all over my face and we're going to church. And my mom and dad would argue on the way to church. Am I the only one?
No.
They'd be on. I said, aren't we supposed to be going to church, right? And I grew up in the Catholic Church. But I would just see them argue, and we know that family comes together and we're supposed to partake of going to church. Who's going to come in? The enemy, right? And I didn't know that as a little kid. Now I know that the enemy's coming in. And he's out to kill, steal, and destroy. All right. So evaluate yourself. As we're going through this thing, evaluate yourself. First of all, it says, I really want to thank God. Bro, I didn't know we were going to go see the castle. This Carmen, what is it with the ladies? I go to the bedroom. Well, what bedroom do you want, DeAndre? Oh, we'll take with her. Joe, what bedroom? And then I take the bedroom over there and I walk in there. How many pillows do you sleep with? I walk in the bedroom and it's like my bedroom. I don't know what is it with women. Miss Carmen, there's like 40 pillows on the bed. And you gotta understand, I'm not the smartest animal but then it's like zebra color, black, white, black, white. I didn't know how to put the pattern back together this morning. I was jacked up. She gonna make breakfast. And she goes, look at the bedroom. You don't eat, Joe. I'm sorry. What is it with women? What is it with women? I mean, I should have taken a picture of the Angela. Then in the morning, blue, black, white, black. I'm serious. Beautiful home. Beautiful home. I know they worked hard. And thank you for your hospitality. Thank you for your hospitality. Thank you for having us here. Now, Leo touched me last night. I don't know. Tacos are tacos. But not in South Texas. Not the way we eat them up north. Man, I don't know, but it was different. But anyway, he shared. Just having tea and across the table. Leo shared that broke me in tears. The passion that he has for men and what he wants to do. And when you find that leader, grab on, hold on. Because his heart is in the right place. Where sometimes ours isn't. Leandro and I, we talked to get out there and went, he's praying, going down the thing, because my wife was traveling to pick up one of our sisters that was in that car accident to Arizona. His wife And he's praying for our wives for travel mercy. And then before we get out of the car, says, whether it's 30 or 300 or 3, all we want is one. Amen. If we reach one of you guys, then it's been worth it. All right, so you ready to get real? Because we're going to start laughing on this one. All right, here we go. We prayed, family. God put us all here. Now, this is crazy. In the U.S., divorce rate exceeds 50%. Man, if my team is shooting 50% from the free throw line, I'm fired. We're losing that battle. 50%. 43% of first marriages only last 8 years. Second marriages, 60%. Third marriages, 70%. So if this one bounced here, and this one bounced here, and you're in their third marriage, good luck. Good luck. Something's missing in their life. And what is it? God. Right? Because he put our great, and I'm very upset. I hardly ever get upset, but I'm upset because our great, because little man over here, we call him NN now. His initials, we call him NN. Little man was asking, it was amazing. Noah picks us up at the, Noah. My wife. So he comes to our small group, and I just said, Noe. My wife looks at me. Really? And chiquita, pero hijos. Really? Noe. And when your wife comes to you, like, oh, shoot. Oh, I better go back to bed. And she says, it's no way. And then she has a voice, she was a cheerleader, no way. And I said, okay, Mama, no way, you know? But when we came to our small group, and I'm just going to tell you, I'm not going to kill the man from what he's done in the past, because it's what I know from him is in the present and in the future. And I'm going to tell you, when he came to us, Leandro, when he came to our middle thing, he brought a man that represented McCallum the way a man should represent. Okay? I'm going to give him that credit. Because you guys know him. I just know him for what I see. That's where I judged him from when I first met him. Some of you guys probably remember when he was a little boy and jacked up, whatever. That's immaterial to me because I know him for who he is when I met him. And that's something, when Jesus came across the path, he met people, and he'd look at him. People knew Jesus for who he was when they met him. And that's what we should do. Okay? Every day we should get up, and we should meet Jesus where he is in our heart at that time. And you can't do it without him. I've tried. Now, to give you my deal, yes, I coached 3 years in high school. The first year that I coached, I won a state championship. Took a team that never won a state in history. I don't care. Doesn't matter. At age 25, I get a college job. That's very unusual. At age 28, I become an athletic director. I've worked hard, and things have come. God has blessed me. But let me tell you something. So when we moved to Texas, Josh was just born. I have 3 kids: Joshua, and Jacob, David, and Janai Kathleen. Those are my kids. Josh is 45, Janai is 43, and Jacob's 39. So as we're progressing, and at the college level, I was really working hard, and no matter what I do, I'm all in. I'm all in. That's just the way I flow. And I'm going, and I'm doing well, and I'm climbing that career, and I'm speaking at these coaching schools, and I'm doing all this stuff like that. And I was known for an innovative defensive coach. I played college ball, and they said, oh, you could handle it, you could go there. But I played college basketball because I could defend you. Nobody could get around me. And so I was using techniques that I used. But my head was also, my heart wasn't growing, but my head was. My ego was. Great wife, teaching autistic kids, special needs kids. Great wife. Her and another lady rented a building like this downtown so they could have youth programs, stuff like that. And I'm doing that. I always played in church, played praise and worship. And I was but then I left that, and guess who became my God? That wrong basketball. My job became my job, my God. My family, and then God was in the back burner. So that's where I was flowing. I was flowing as my job being my God. And I don't share my testimony, and I'll give you a part of it because it's very personal to me. But I was speaking at Adams State in Colorado, and I was a keynote speaker, and we was talking innovative defense. And coaches from all over America was coming to this clinic. And I was ego tripping. Paid me well to go over there and to speak. And Saturday, I was to give a presentation. I was doing stuff on the board and handing out handouts. So we're going to use the Adams State players to demonstrate my drills on Saturday. So that was demonstration day. Friday night, the coach that was our women's coach, we went and we were by the mountains. We went to pick up Dad. We're camping at Coy campus. I love the mountains. What I do now is I shoot bears, mountain lions, deer. Now that's what I do. I hunt the mountains. I would be fishing today up and down the river. So I love doing that. And so about 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm having this dream. And we're at a KO camp about 3/4 mile away from the head office. And if you told me to take off my shoes right now and walk this, it would hurt my feet. I've worn tennis shoes my whole life. I just have 10 feet. And this dream came, it's a long dream, but the dream came, and basically he said, if you don't change, you're going to lose them. I never thought that I would lose my wife, but I was already losing her. She wasn't going to leave me, but I was already losing her, right? She didn't check out. She loved me. She was raising the kids, but she was doing all that stuff. And so when I did that, and I was in shirt, t-shirt, and I jump out of that camper and I run on gravel with no shoes. You tell me to do that today, you'd have to pay me $1,000. And I run 3/4 mile to the paying phone, which was needs, and I called 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I called Colette. We just set the coffee process, and Jeannie says, "You okay?" I says, "I'm coming home." "What?" "I'm coming home." She says, "Wait, you have a demonstration tomorrow, which is going to be that morning." She says, "You'll be here Sunday." And I said, "I'm coming home." I'm crying like a baby. And I get back in there, Coach Irvin says, "Coach Mondragon, what's going on?" I said, "We're going home." "Yes, sir." "Yeah, well, we got to go to Farmington to take the cab to his dad, come all the way across from Mexico into Texas." I drive 24 straight hours. I'm crying. I would have to pull out the highway and just cry. I just cried for 24 hours. Because God says you're going to lose them. I was out of order. He says, you're going to lose them because you have lost me and forgotten me. Oh, you want God to slap you like that? It's no fun. It's no fun. So this is what we're going to do. Topic, who am I? Now this is crazy. Leandro, what's your topic? Who are you? We didn't know this. We did not communicate. We talked a lot, but we didn't know. Noe was saying, well, we might get you guys up. So I'm preparing, and Leandro's preparing. So then, like 2 days ago, Leandro says, "Hey, what's going on?" I said, "Yeah, Leandro." And he had sent me a text. He says, "My message is going to be because Noah says you have some information." And then Leandro says, "Who are you?" Now, you got to understand the mentality of Leandro and me. First of all, I think he's being sarcastic because my topic, who am I? And he's telling me, who are you? Dude, are we going to throw down or what? Who am I? Who are you? That we didn't know. But see how God works? Because it's going to come together. It's going to come together. So who am I? As a man, more importantly, who are you in Christ? Right? In 1 Corinthians 6:17, I am the God united with the Lord, and I am one with him in the Spirit. I am the God united. In other words, he's going to what? Unite us, bros. We're united. Right? We're together. We're in one accord. 1 Corinthians 6:17, I am the God united with the Lord, and I am one with him in spirit. Men. Now, if you want to write this down, M-E-N. Guess what? Making empty get it? Men, E. We make empty noise. We tell our wife, babe. I don't call my wife babe. If I call my wife babe, I get slapped. Babe, my name is Jean. Okay? But, it's a different mindset. Different. Look, I got married in 1974. I was a junior in college and she was a sophomore in college. We got married. We didn't have kids till 5 years later because I didn't know how to do it. Well, you know what I'm talking about. Did you get that one? Did that one go by? Ooh. All right. We didn't have kids because I wasn't mature enough. But anyway, we thought we could live off my scholarship, but when we decided we got married at midterm, let me tell you how basketball works in my life. We got married at midterm. She was a sophomore, I was a junior in college. And we spent our honeymoon in a basketball tournament in Colorado. And the college coach was the best man at my wedding. He said, because I can't have you without me, so I'm going to be your best man. Yes, sir, coach. And then you're going to go pick up the guys coming from Chicago, and you're going to pick them up in Denver because we're playing a tournament. I'm picking up the guys coming from here. And we had a plan. My honeymoon. We spent our honeymoon in a basketball tournament. How crazy is that? But then we decided to get married because we thought we could live on love for about a week. And then I got hungry. You know what I'm talking about? Because my parents, her parents said, well, what are you going to live on? So we'll live off my scholarship. And they said, we did. One time we were so poor, we had a can of green beans. Miss Carmen this morning, she made it wasn't a 7-course meal, but we're sitting there and she has fruit. And I said, man, if I just had this when I was in college. We have it now, but we didn't have it then. So we thought we could live on love. So we move on. Men making empty noise. You walk the walk, or you talk the talk? What do? Do you walk the walk or do you talk the talk? Okay? Now listen. Everything is words. And men, let me tell you something. Words cut like a double-edged sword. It cuts. Be careful what you say to your significant other. Okay? I've had a great marriage. But I've had a great wife. Sometimes I lacked in that relationship. But I was very careful. Sometimes, I'm with my guys. Look, guys, you got to understand. My college coach for 4 years, I played for a great guy. I thought my name was MF. My parents came to watch me play. When he came into my living room to recruit me, he's this guy, big German guy from Chicago, Catholic man. That impressed my mom and dad. I left the Catholic church when I got out of the house because I couldn't read the Bible. Am I the only one around that big, beautiful Bible? Am I the only one that came from Catholicism here? That big old Bible sitting there. And I was a little kid, very curious, and I would try, and Mom, Nico, don't you touch that. Why not? The pictures are beautiful. But we weren't allowed to touch the Bible. Okay? So, my college coach called me MF, and my parents came to watch us play. We played at Highlands, and they're sitting up there, and every other word is MF, MF, MF. Hey, little mother, hey, and it's like I could get it. Who cares? Didn't matter to me. Well, what I did learn, that there are some that cannot take the cut. Some can't take the cut, and we're men. You say, hey, bro, and it says, hey, let's go outside. I was just joking, bro. Some can't take it. Well, think about a woman that you try to throw those cuts. Oh man, it ain't gonna work. You're in the doghouse. I have 5 of them, and I don't have a dog. So you got to think about that. Listen, anger, hurt, denial, pride. Bullying. I'll get Leandro here. Put it on. Leandro. Got a beautiful wife. But if he's coming at me, now our wives are very sensitive. But if we leave, come on. Go just make me a chance. Come on. And I'm doing this. Come on. And I'm doing this. And come on. Can you do that to your wife? He's not literally physically doing it. what he's emotionally doing. I would rather be hurt with a punch than emotionally scarred in my heart. And that's, as men, that's what we do to our women. We scar them. We scar them. And we scar them. And we hurt them. And we hurt them. And we hurt them. And then all of a sudden, and then we have the Jesus moment. Hey. She ain't slapping you, but she is. See, oh, you want it when you want it. Okay? You want it when you want it. That ain't going to happen. ¿Por qué? Okay? Why do you act the way you act? Huh? Am I the only one? You know, she would, to this day, Noah's been to my small group. Today there, you know, I play my guitar and start doing my lesson, and then I start going off on these little things I go, and my wife will be sitting there and says, okay! And she screams, and the whole group, oh. You know what it says? That's enough. Because women don't want to hear all that garbage. They want to get to the point. Boom, they want to get to the point. We don't. We want to skirt around the issue. We run away from the issue. All right? So what is our weakness? How many of you guys get ready? Because we're going to have to go get a big roll of, what do you call that? Not toilet paper, paper towel. You know what I'm talking about? Bouncy, or what is the big brownie, whatever. When Leandro gets up here, let me tell you something. You're going to see a man that is very vulnerable. And men, if we don't become vulnerable, don't expect our wives to submit to you. They want to see the softness of a man, not the hardness of a man. They don't want to do. My wife doesn't want to see that. She doesn't. She wants to see. She wants to see the inside of me. So, how many of you guys can cry? How many? And you know what? That's what it's there for. How can God love me? How can God love me? Because God is love. It says, how can God love me? Because He is love. Above all the gifts of the Spirit and everything, you can throw all that away in the trash can. But you can't throw away love. Because love conquers all. Put love in your heart. All right. Are you ready? It's so important to do what you do, but it's so important what you don't do. You think, well, I'm going to put new cabinets because we did a new thing for Leandros. That's another story. I'm going to put new cabinets. It's not that. She doesn't want new cabinets. She wants you. You know, you're trying to please her. You're trying to please her. A man of God wants to what? Fulfill God's promises, not our promises. All right? There's three things that you got to understand. Love, love, and love. What's that commercial that you can get insurance for $9.99? Have you seen that commercial? Regardless of your age. Huh? There you go. And the viejita calls in, she's 180,000 years. What's the price? $9.99. And you know what? You only get like a $100 insurance policy. Oh, that's really easy. It's a good sell pitch. $9.99 for all kinds of insurance. But that's what God is not looking. He's looking for righteousness. He's looking for goodness, faithfulness, steadfastness, gentleness, because that's in Scripture. In 1 Timothy 6:11. But you, Timothy, a man of good, so run from all evil things. Because this place used to be a what?
Bar.
Not a club. Not a club, not a bar. But to me, a club, a bar, it doesn't matter. But stuff was going in here. Stuff was going on in here. But guess what's going on here today? Bringing the word. In this place. In this place. Now before my wife would come in here, trust me, she would come in here with a bottle of oil and she would anoint the building and pray over every chair. She does that at youth every Wednesday night. We have what, Leander, about 150 kids come to youth, and she will go anoint every chair because she knows that youth is coming into that youth center with poison. With poison. All right. Now stay with me. was talking with my wife 2 weeks ago, and we went to the Loveless Women's Cancer Center. My mom died of breast cancer when she was 58 and I was 32. Okay? So my wife went and did a mammogram, whatever, but you know what I'm talking about. I call it mammogram because she said, that's not funny. These are my breasts, it's not mammogram. No. That's fine. And they found a spot in the breast, so they immediately they go do a biopsy. And she goes, I'm going to go. And I said, no, I have something to go. I said, no. She says, I'm going with you. Because I used to fly from Texas when my mom was going through her chemo and her radiation. And it was bad in the day. Bad in the day. Not like now, it's so advanced. And my mom lost her hair, they did both. It was awful. And I would fly in to take care of her when she would be, I'd fly in. I said, Mom, my sister was in Michigan, she was in London, my brother was in California. I'm gonna fly in and I tell my dad, because my dad couldn't handle it. My dad loved my mom, he just couldn't handle it. And I said, I'll come on the weekends and I'll take you for your chemo and the vomiting and all the stuff that she did. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at my wife and I says, oh man, Lord. And they have this spot and they're gonna do a biopsy. And I'm sitting there at the hospital, this was like 2-3 weeks ago. And I was reflecting and I looked at her and I said, you got a pencil and pen? And she goes, yeah, she always does. And I said, could you do me a favor? And I said, can you write these things down? And she says, sure. And then I says, fellow man, is this truth? Is this truth? Or are you falsifying what you say? And I was looking at my wife just thinking, oh Lord, please, and I said, Jeannie, write this stuff down. And I said, should we think before we say something? Yes, right? Should we have patience? Yes, we should. So I said, all right. And Jesus said, and I'm writing all these things down. And it was 2 pages of stuff that men make up. And she kind of laughed and she said, that was a good one. Write it down. I says, I want to do this for the men's group. I'm going to Texas. And she goes, all right, I'll do it for you. So this is what men say. This is what it says. I know. When your wife is coming to you and she's telling you something, and do you guys say, I know, but you don't? Oh, I know, babe. I know. And how many times you say, and it's like we have a starting, no, and you're like that. No, you don't. When she's telling you something, and she's coming to you from the heart, and you saying, I know, and you don't, because we don't communicate. That's one thing men don't do. I didn't see my dad. My dad was a very quiet man. And my mom was like, wanting, and I was looking, Dad, you need to answer Mom. I'm a little kid, I need to answer Mom. And he'd say, I thought, bro, her name was a singer. I thought, I gotta go. That's the way he didn't want to get down. He grew up an orphan. So he didn't have a fatherly image. He was raised by my Auntie Tula. She was 13. My grandma was pregnant with my Aunt Lucy. My grandpa Juan was bootlegging back in the Prohibition during the 20s. He was bootlegging alcohol from El Paso to Denver. He was on the run from the Federales. My grandma's pregnant. My dad's 2 years old. They break into the casita that they lived in. The Federales rough up my grandma. She goes into childbirth. My Auntie Lucy is born, but my grandma dies from the beating that they did to her. Okay? So my dad grew up a work family. Right? He was raised by my tia Mela, who was first cousin to my tia Tula, which was the oldest. So my dad didn't have those communication skills because he didn't have a father in his life. He just didn't. It was, he was coming and going and leave a little bit of money here and there. So the other one, you say, can we talk about this? How many times have your wife come to you and says, can we talk about this? And you say, later. Ooh. She comes to you, vulnerable, and you say, can we talk about this? And we say later. Oops. Guess what? She's feeling it, guys. She's feeling it. And you dismiss her. Does that hurt? Does that cut? I know it cuts my wife. She wants me to stop and listen to her. How about this one? I'm tired. You know it? I'm tired. Leo, I'm tired. Hyman, I'm tired, babe. And then you go fishing. That's what I did. Am I the only one? I'm busy all week long, coaching, recruiting. On Saturday, my assistant coach, man, that's the only thing I miss about Texas is the fishing. We have trout fishing over there, and it's beautiful up in the mountains. But man, in Texas, where I was at, man, you could go anytime here. And I had keys to these private, because I had big, I had a little cloud beans, a college coach, and I had keys to these ranches, and I'd go into these big ones, these little tanks that have all kinds of bass. Saturday morning, I tell Arliss, I said, Arliss, what is it, coach? I says, hey, 5 o'clock. I get up at 5 o'clock. This is how smart I am. This is how smart. On Saturday, I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Man, I have that house spotless. I can clean a mansion in an hour if I'm going fishing. Bro, you know, I'm like this, and I'm that. I'm going and going. And I go fishing. And my wife knew that I had coached a conference game on Thursday night. I went to Lubbock, Texas to do some recruiting. I get in 2 o'clock in the morning, and you know, I'd get into bed, and she goes, "You okay? Are you all right?" You make me says, "I'm tired." Shoo! 3 hours later, I knew I was going fishing. I wasn't tired anymore. How many of us we've played that game, huh? Am I the only one that played that game? You know, I played that game. I was just like, I was checking out. So here he goes, I'm tired. Here's the one. How do you know what I'm feeling when you don't know because you haven't listened to me? How many times has your wife said that to you? She would say, you know what, Joe, what's the name? And I'm like, what? And you're like, hey, if you say what too many times, forget dinner. It ain't going to happen, guys. It ain't going to happen. In Colossians 3:19, husbands, love your wives, and do not be harsh with them. Amen. The word says, do not be harsh with them. Here's one. How many of you guys have said, I'm not a club guy or a bar guy. How many of you guys says, honey, I need a guy's night out? Ooh. And you know what she thinks? But you do that every weekend. You're out with the vatos, you're out with the vatos doing this. And then she goes, hey, honey, I need a night. Really? Where are you going? Now, let's flip it. What you mean? Huh? Jose. Hey. How about when she comes to you? Jose, I'm going out with the girls. Oh. Look at it. What do you do, bro? You might as well be under indictment. One day us. Hey, where you going and with who? Huh? How about when you flip it says, and she comes to you and says, hey, babe. And then she's all dressed up. And she says, hey, where are you going? I'm going to girls' night out. And you jump on her. Because let me tell you something. As ugly as I am, I could go to a bar and probably have drinks and stuff like that. There ain't no girl come and pick up on me. If my girl dresses up and goes to a club or to a cantina, guess what? She's going to get on. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Oh, but I need a guy's night out. And she says, well, every weekend you're out with the vatos. You're all fishing, and Sunday you don't go to church because we're having barbecue. What does that mean, barbecue? It means I'm putting ribs on the barbecue. But you're having your beers. But then she says, I have girls' night out. And you say, oh, not my baby. But she's going to be hit on. You know that. She's going to be hit on. I says, so what's the difference? What does she think? She married you because she thought you were cute. Till you got the panza. And that was because drinking too many. Leandro, he'll tell you a story. I said, Leandro, did you drink beer? He said, oh, no. He'll tell you, oh, no, I didn't drink beer. And he just tuck it in. He says, because I didn't want to have the beer gut. But he drank a what? A quart? What? A bottle a day of hard liquor. I mean, full-blown alcoholic, but he also didn't want to have How vain is that? How bad is the enemy hitting you on that one? Oh my gosh. So you know what? As we go on, hidden secrets. You have more confidence in your amigos than you have in your wife. You have more confidence in your man than you have on your woman. How does that work? That should. Something's missing in your relationship. Guess what it is? God. Okay? We are out of order. Okay? Don't dismiss. Don't dismiss the one that you should be talking to. All right? But I'm going to hit you on another one. The fifth commandment says to what? Honor your mother and father. Talking to the young man over here. To the day you die. Now, how hard is it that your wife has her parents and she is to honor them till the day they die? So that means, because I have good in-laws, that means you have to love your in-laws. Ooh. Ooh. How many? Huh? Is that bro? That right? Huh? He closes his eyes like this. I don't want to answer. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. So you have your woman that is to honor her parents. The husband is to honor his parents. And how do you do the blending? There's only one way you're going to do it. Prayer, grabbing her hand says, babe, we've got to get this, we've got to get to do this. Because it's going to happen. So you have to honor. Most importantly, I didn't have abuelitas. They all died. On my mom's side, on the Santina side, my grandma Carlota died when my mom was a junior in high school. My dad's mom died when he was 2 years old. My Aunt Lucy and him shared a bottle, but my grandma died because of the beating they did to her. So I didn't know my abuelitas. My grandpa Elias died when I think I was 4. My grandpa Juan, I barely remembered him. My dad's dead, I think I was 2. So I didn't grow up with grandparents, all right? But I did see love coming through my parents about their parents. I could see it all the time. Do you love me? Guys will actually come in after you have an argument with your wife and you've been arguing for about 2-3 weeks, 2, 3, 4 months, maybe a couple of years, and you walk up to her and says, do you love me? And she looks at it and she says, I used to. I mean, you actually, don't say that's a crime. She's a beautiful lady. But can you imagine walking up and you treating her and you're doing bad things to her? And then you try to do what Leanne's doing. You start bullying her emotionally. You're attacking her emotionally. He says, but do you love me? She's not going to answer you. That's not a good sign. Inside she says, I used to. But do you want that answer? As a husband, do you want that answer? No, you don't. All right? So as we conclude here, we're going to move on. Here it says, men, be a good example. Stay in the church. Read the word and constantly pray. The last one I'm going to leave you with, and this is crazy. You say, I don't think you should be wearing that. Stand up and sit. And she comes out of the living room, she comes out the thing, and then he looks at his wife and says, I don't think you should be wearing that. And then she looks up and down at you, says, and she starts laughing. Really? Really? Do you understand? You have to be very sensitive, and you have to be very sensitive to your woman, to your wife. I mean, there's sometimes I want to say that. And I says, you know, I think the brown would go a little better with the green. I try to be funny, and she gets it. She goes, oh, how come women shake like that? What happened, baby? I got to take you to the hospital. They're shaking like that. And they're shaking it. And I just know. And she says, oh, so you don't like what I'm wearing? Huh? So you don't like what I'm wearing? And And you gotta say, no, I love what